G'day everyone and Parliamentarians, people of Australia. This is Dr. Rich Mclean, and this is Crystal. Crystal, can you say, I love you? I love you. She loves us and we love life. I'm here to send a message today to Parliamentarians and my landlord, Hung Ho, because I am in a bit of difficulty. Now, I'm a Human Rights Awarded artist and author with Sane's Book of the Year. I have a PhD, a Master's in Education, and I've been an employee of the NDIS, where I worked as a therapeutic support, allied health professional, and I have done that for a number of years. Now, things kind of went downhill at one point. I'm also a human rights advocate of 25 plus years, and everything that I say in this video is provable on evidence at the website you can see below. Currently, I have, I'll just read because I have problems with memory. I've got a bit of a brain issue where I've forgotten things. It's because of the detriment of a suicide attempt that was fatal, and from all accounts it was fatal, and I was found accidentally, and they revived me from certain death because I had no pulse. So I just want to say, basically, right up the front, I've been character assassinated and I've been scapegoated. Now, this is the situation. I'm currently banned from reporting crime to police. I'm currently banned from complaining anywhere, anyhow, to anyone. I'm banned from any litigation or equality before the law, and in fact have never had an unbiased dodgy lawyer in all my life. I cannot go to any ombudsman, and I'm a banned whistleblower at IBAC, ASIC, APRA and the Commonwealth Ombudsman. Currently, I have not enough to eat, medicine, and this is in stark contrast to the Charter of Human Rights for people with a disability that were ratified by the government in 2008. As a public official and as a parliamentarian, you would know that you have an obligation to act within that legislation. And I really hope that you do acknowledge my situation and my utter destruction, really, and then the cover-up of that. And the last entire year, I've lived in abject poverty while they've waited for me to die. And also the enormous detriment. It's actually in the millions and millions of dollars I've been robbed of, deceived of, or people have acted to pervert the course of justice via omission, which is all my prosecution needs to prove in the Federal Circuit Court of Australia, that this has occurred. It is also this conspiracy to pervert the course of justice to really to aid and abet my death and rob me of any prosperity is a horrendous and vile victimisation of myself, Dr. Richard Mclean, and I've been character assassinated by my former partner, Steve Isonides, who used to be an ASIO agent. And I was also character assassinated via Mr. Ball, who was a doctor's lawyer. And I suffered government systemic oppression for very many years and set up to fail again and again. By the time people identified me with not justice, but illness, I was locked up in a psychiatric ward. There, sadly, the suicide attempt did occur. From all accounts of the Freedom of Information, it was a fatal injury and a lethal attempt. That's why I have an acquired brain injury now. Sadly, also, no one stood up for me because I had been so successfully and watertight character assassinated, excuse me, that no one had any real value for my life. And that's the state of affairs now. I've lost friends, I've lost all my family, and I'm squatting. I have no food. I have I'm persecuted by the police. I've been incarcerated another 2 times. But people always identify illness. But I'm much more than just a label. And in actual fact, I used a PhD study to undiagnose myself and detach myself from that label. I'm afraid what's happening here is that the mental health sector and the federal government is supposing absolute abject poverty for mental illness. Now, I do get distressed because I have a brain injury, apparently a mental illness, and I have cancer, and I've got no food. I've been screaming out for help for years. It's all I've ever done. I'm a free man. I've done nothing wrong, although you've probably been told some pretty heinous stories about me of reasons to prejudice me. And I'm an easily prejudiced person because I've publicly stated that I've been a prior drug user and gay, and I had guilty sex, and it was always all legal, of course, but it was, just the growing up stuff, I just want to say that victimisation is against the law. And when it occurs, like it has, systemically and across the board, via local, state and federal government agencies by proxy, it's with much more malice and a real intelligent design. It's the spaces between spaces. It's the word on the street. It's ruthless in its approach, and it has an objective: to utterly destroy me. It's designed to rob me of any prosperity, and that evidence is extremely proficient, and a lot of it on my website below. It's to deny me a voice and my human value and my very dignity. It's worked. I still love life though. I love my dog. It's good I'm my own person's company. I light a candle of gratitude every day. Sadly, I can prove that what I'm stating has been in order to aid and abet my death. And of course, as I mentioned, that actually occurred through the systemic oppression and then was covered up by the very agents of destruction that led me to that point. It's the enormity of what an infamous vagrant I am, scapegoated. I just sometimes can't believe I'm in this situation, So how do we turn something bad into something good? This is what I want to work on. I want to work on being a transformational expert. I want to work this detriment into an amazing opportunity that not only relieves the government of the sin of murdering someone by conspiracy or manslaughter, but in actual fact offers a detriment in order for me, because I don't need. It's never been about money for me. I don't really worry. I need things later, and health and stuff like that. Actually, in the whole year and a bit since I've suicided, they rejected me from the service, and I haven't seen one psychologist. Now, that's more than a bad public mental health service. That's an elaborate way to destroy someone and reduce their help and assistance. Now, I just want to say there's many MPs involved already in this movement that act via omission, which is systemic, and it is across the board. I wish to say that my former partner, Steve Isonides, still owes me $500,000. Now, I wonder what kind of influence he's had working under David Irvine to actually exploit the already existing vulnerabilities that I've assigned myself with in my public life, and how he's managed to send out the narcissistic monkeys to silently destroy me by proxy. Below, I'll post a letter from his lawyer. All I need is one lawyer to answer his lawyer. It's unholy that I have death threats at the window, and I can't have witness protection, although I demand witness protection and what is it called? Whistleblower rights. I've begged MP Birmingham's NDIS office, who condones my vagrancy. I've begged for compensation to Finance Minister Birmingham, and he also rejects me via omission. The delay, defer, deny tactic will no longer work. I've made this public statement today because I have no food. I have no medication. I have no care. I've lost everyone. Someone's on the phone. I'll get that later. But I just want to make this very clear that... hang on, just wait 1 sec. Hi again, sorry about that. I got distracted. I just want to say very clearly that this conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, which is very easily provable by me, if I had a lawyer, which I could probably at this stage never get, unless it was for the interjection or the joint effort of someone crossing the floor to help me, is easily provable for me in the Federal Circuit Court. The evidence is clear on the website below, if you got the time to have a look. Now, what is happening is sometimes I wonder if I'm Jesus Christ reborn to forgive you all the sins of oppressing me, or the laughing Buddha in the end times, now that we're at the end stage of the Anthropocene, which is part of my human study in post-humanism. But I repeat, for those up the back, please listen to me. I'm a sentient being. Even if I was a rapist, a murderer, a pedophile, or a dog fuck, or any of those heinous crimes, or an extortionist that I've been framed with, or that I kill myself for fun to get money out of people. I mean, how preposterous, was pretty certain. I just want to say that it's a really, really tough spot, and it's actually easily provable as a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. It's a vile victimisation, and these are the things that I need. Please. I want to get a new... the Charter of Human Rights of People with Disability says we need a home. We need food. We need freedom from oppression, and we are required to have equal access to the law and equity before the law. We're also required to be free from torture, and we're also required to have other human rights valued. What I would like for to happen is that I get whistleblower protection. This is because I don't feel safe in my home, and it's because I get death threats at the door. Literally, the police won't do anything about it. I really would appreciate if you could kindly swing it somehow. Food and medicine. I'm a sentient being with human value. I know that hasn't been appreciated because through this suffering, I've relied on a few people and they haven't understood, so I've bid out of those people. But we all have inherent prejudice, you know, and sometimes the prejudice they're exploiting me with is one that already exists in people. So it's easy to turn them against me. I please demand a neurologist. I need to have this brain injury assessed for the purposes of insurance, and I need a cancer specialist because I've got cancer here on my nose, and I've got an appointment, but it's on the phone. Not sure how much I'm going to do. I refuse to die, and I'm not suicidal. Who could be suicidal with Crystal? Crystal, I love you. Crystal, I love you. Crystal, can you say, I love you? I love you. Oh, she's not going to do it now. Anyway, so I'm just this. I guess I'm rendered a neutral, innocuous refugee that's pointless and has no value attributed to him and has no worth. I give myself worth every day. That's why I'm here. And Crystal too, the dog. And I'm a nice guy, even though I have been argumentative, and but that's, some people just don't get on. Conflict happens, you know. So I'm sexy and cheeky. I like sex. I like to joke around. I guess I like to think I'm a light worker, interdimensionally, because I'm a spirit having a human experience. And I'm not from here, but while I'm in this monkey suit, I better make things kind of better. But I do have a little devil on my shoulder, that's for sure. And I tell a mean dad joke, so hang around. But you can see all the evidence at killhim.info. I'm going to do a more detailed statement, and just very briefly, what else wanted to say? Oh yeah, just as an example, like I wrote to the Minister for Health today. Oh, Greg Hunt knows about it. He denies me. The Attorney General even knows. She's condoning me losing my work cover case. And as we all know, I'm supposed to have equal and equality before the law and access to litigation. But my cases at the AAT being rejected by government that's already killed me, then covered it up. Now I've got a brain injury trying to fight some legislation I don't understand. And they've got a 25-year expert in Comcare and SRC Act law to bury me. And I've pointed out many times that as public officials, you aren't allowed to stray outside of the Charter of Human Rights for People with Disabilities. Now, I'm very well aware this is going to fail, which is probably now a TPD case because of my brain injury. But what I'm trying to say is I'd already lost like $1 million at APRA, Australian Human Rights Commission. I'd already lost and been framed in not one but two VOCAT cases. One in which there's video evidence that the police omitted to give to me in the Freedom of Information of a violent affray, of which I was not guilty, but they pinned on me. And my own child sexual abuse case, which of course people didn't believe me because A, I'm crazy, and B, the taboo of sexual abuse. And the magistrate which wrote to me saying, quote unquote, I was doomed to fail. All these things were adding up. And then there was AFCA. Now, according to the legislation, AFCA have to get a marginalised person who has financial issues and come to a determination within 4 weeks. Mine took up to 2 years. And I begged them and HCF, my insurer, for them to release the funds or get to the issue when I left work with an injury triggered by my own client's sexual abuse stuff, which I had protections in place about. But the whole enormity of it really turned me down, and nothing was working out, nothing. And then further I went on now AFCA before I went to hospital, watched and waited, and watched me squirm, watched me suffer as I became a vagrant. And then I blew the whistle on Steve Isonides, and next thing you know, what is seen as distress, and I was distressed because I had no food, and I was sick from work and upset and a non-acknowledged adult with sexual abuse, that the CAT team was sent, and then it all went downhill, and AFCA watched both before that and then after that, and they waited and waited and waited, and then they blackmailed me, and finally I'd had enough. I had to say something. And they threatened that I couldn't contact them unless it was via someone else. Of course, how am I going to find that person? Who will it be? I tried to get people. I probably lost 1 to 2 to over $2 million at AFCA. And I'm probably going to lose another, I don't know, million and something from the failed work cover case, which the Attorney General knows about. And like a lot of other people, only identify illness and don't identify justice. There is an equality and equity that is missing in my life. The detriment I've suffered has been huge, millions and millions of dollars. I'm not so worried because even though I think part of this healing process will be acknowledging that that loss happened and that it has been, without you admitting it, a systemic conspiracy and oppression and a vile victimisation to pervert the course of justice, and it does this in sneaky ways, silently, by omission and by acting via proxy, via an intelligently designed system to destroy me. So the Attorney General condones that. The Officer for the Finance Minister Birmingham, he rejected my CDDC scheme. The Prime Minister of the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet rejected my freedom of information, which I thought might shed some light on why this is happening to me. And it's supposed to be due, I think, tomorrow on my birthday, 8th of April. All the ombudsmans have utterly rejected me, and what I think I'm going to do, because I don't need much to survive, I'm a simple kind of person, I just want to be, this is about a natural justice. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I just want what's equally owed to me, and I want freedom from persecution and some dignity back. That would be really nice. It is stressful. They say 30% of your income's rent stress. Well, I've lived on, after a suicide attempt, where it was fatal, they put me on job seeker while I was already on sick leave. It's just, you wouldn't read about it. And then I got on a pension, and I've lived on $22,000 a year, and my rent's been $18,500 a year. People have a real prejudice when they consider people who are either got a mental illness, the stigma and shame of that. And people also identify you as you're not doing anything or you're wasting your time. I work 10 hours a day on justice issues. This is how I've got all this categorically factual evidence to prove this is happening. I want to give back to the community. I don't need much to live. I just need a safe place for me and my dog. I like to shag someone every now and again. I like to get pissed every now and again. And I like to go to the dog park. It's just about simplicity for me. I was a 25-year plus or 30-year artist, but the arts become life and life becomes art. And I guess my art at the moment, or formerly went through the keyboard in a PhD, and now my art seems to be the art of surviving. And survive I will. If you can please have some compassion, and you can acknowledge all the evidence on killhim.info. And it's Dr. Rich Mclean. I'd like to say I'm an infamous vagrant, and I fear that I'm going to be framed with a crime, and that I haven't done. This is a half-truth, and be framed somehow. Because it's come too far now. Like, the government can't admit they're guilty of this, obviously. But I can't go back either. So we need to come to a truce, and I think that's going to happen via way of you not admitting that something happened, and someone actually joining me in my advocacy and my human dignity and value fight, and having a lawyer and that kind of stuff. But it's also going to be me choosing a handful of charities which are ratified and valued and I can't find the word now, I forget things, but registered charities to support trans rights and Indigenous people in the environment, and also research and sexual abuse support and education for around these things, because education is a really just amazing tool that I've had the privilege of doing. I worked hard for it, but I've had a real privileged life, and I'm very grateful for being alive. And I've had you could say it hasn't been boring. Excuse me. Anyway, it's Rich Mclean signing off. Please have a look at my former life at richmclean.com.au on the left. And please look at, I know it's a bit of a negative thing, but killhim.info. Because if you're going to kill someone, how do you attack them? You attack them in the money. You attack them robbing them. You attack them silently. And if you're really clever, you can do it by proxy and stealth and watch him squirm. And I'm afraid this is what has happened for a long, long time. And it's not right. And I deserve some dignity and some justice. And I hope parliamentarians and people of Australia that you'll listen to my story. And it's a storied life. We've got storied lives. I realise a lot of other people are going through huge detriment at the moment, from anything from floods and HIV to cancer to sexual abuse to also people trafficking. I mean, I know. I'm an educated person. But this particular journey is my one. And if no one intervenes, I'm afraid death will follow further vagrancy. Please help me. Acknowledge my concerns. I don't want you to admit anything, but as long as we could come to some agreement and acknowledgement of all the evidence, and then we could all move on, I could be happy in the house by myself and my dog, and I could do some really amazing things for a lot of people, because that's actually the person I am. Like, I was an advocate for 25 plus years, and I worked through altruism helping people. I've illustrated a book. I've raised funds for the Royal Children's Hospital Banksia unit for child and adolescent mental health, and it's in my soul to help people, and now it's kind of become the fight of my life to help myself, and this heartfelt message has gone out there for you all, and if you could please listen to my story, acknowledge it, and if you can't help me, don't hurt me, but by not acknowledging this or sharing it, that hurts me too. So please consider sharing it, and thanks for listening, and got to find out where to get some noodles. Anyway, look, it hasn't been boring life, but I'll turn off now, and thank you for listening. I wonder if Crystal said, Crystal, can you say, I love you, I love you, I love you. We love life, we love people. We're sorry for our confusions, if we've hurt anyone, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to forgive a massive confusion that's government-wide on the other side, but I'll get to that. Let's work together, make the world a better place. Thank you.